Okay, so hello guys. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and do more complicated rational equations. So I did try to make a video over this, but it just didn't come out well. I feel like I made a little bit too many mistakes, so I'm redoing it. So we're just gonna look at two problems here. And yeah, because these are pretty long. So it says solve each equation and check for extraneous solutions. So the first one, let me just write it down. Okay, so this is the first example. So we have x squared plus 6x minus 16 over x cubed plus x squared minus the quantity x plus 3 over x squared plus x equals 1 over x squared. So the idea here is you want to factor or try to factor each one of these and try to find the common denominator for these problems. So I'm going to go ahead and do, so we have x squared plus 6x minus 16, and obviously if you don't know how to factor these, I do have a separate video. I'm going to factor these really quickly. So we have, this is going to be x plus 8 times x minus 2, right? And so so that's what x squared plus 6x minus 16 will be. So that's what that is, right? And then x cubed plus x squared is pretty simple. You just have to factor out the x squared. So this will be x squared times x plus 1, right? So that's what this would be. And then the x plus 3 is already factored, so we don't have to do anything with that. So we just have to, we can still list it. So just, it's just x plus 3. So that's already factored, right? So, and then we have x squared plus x, right? So x squared plus x, that's going to be equal to x times x plus 1, right? So that's what x squared plus x will be. And then x squared is just already factored, so on the right side. So now this is going to be, so if you kind of look carefully, so we have x squared plus 6x minus 16 over x cubed plus x squared, and then minus x plus 3 over x squared plus x is equal to 1 over x squared, right? So then you're just going to put exactly what all of these are. So we said that this part is going to be x plus 6 over x, or x plus 6, or no, x plus 8 times x minus 2. So that's what this part is. And then it's over, and then x cubed plus x squared was x squared times x plus 1. So really that's what this is, right? And then we have minus, and then we have x plus 3, which is already factored, over. It's already, I mean, we don't have to factor it because it's just one term or one linear like expression. So we just leave it like that, and then x squared plus x will be so that's going to be this one. So that'll be this one, and that'll be, actually it's going to be x times x plus 1. So that's what this one's going to be, right? So then, and this is equal to 1 over x squared, of course. So now what you're going to do is, we see here that between x squared times x plus 1 and x times x plus 1, we see that there's an x times x times x plus 1. So that's what this is. And then there's x times x plus 1. Obviously, you can see that this one has one more x multiplied to it. So really what we have to do is just multiply an x over here. So we just have to do this on top and bottom, right? To get it to equal to the common denominator. So then, and then also another thing is that on the right side, where it says x squared right there, all you have to do, because we want to get it, really the greatest common factor is going to be x squared times x plus 1. So really that's what it would be. And then, you know, all you have to do here is just multiply times x plus 1 on top and bottom. And then that way you have all the, you know, terms that you need for the common denominator. So then this whole thing then changes to, so we have x plus 8 times x minus 2 over x squared times x plus 1, and then minus, and then x times x plus 3, that's going to be like this, and then over x squared times x plus 1, because we multiplied the x to this, right? And then this is equal to x plus 1 over x squared times x plus 1. So really they all have the same denominator now. So what you're going to do is you have x plus 8 times x minus 2 minus x times x plus 3 equals x plus 1. And so really now that you have the common denominators, all you have to do is set the numerators equal to each other. So then what you have to do here is just, you know, FOIL method and simplify the left side and then make it equal to the right side and solve for x, right? So we have x squared, so this is x squared. It's going to be minus 2x plus 8x minus 16, right? So FOIL method basically. And then minus x squared plus 3x, right? I'm sorry, minus 3x, excuse me. It'd be minus 3x. And then this is equal to x plus 1, right? So then you're going to factor, or you're going to simplify this, so combine like terms, right? So this becomes x squared plus 6x minus 16 minus x squared minus 3x equals x plus 1. And then again, combine like terms. So we have x squared and negative x squared. We have a 6x and a negative 3x. So it'll be, so these two cancel out. 6x minus 3x is 3x. And then we have minus 16 is equal to x plus 1. So then you're going to go ahead and solve this linear equation. So subtracting x on both sides, we get 2x minus 16 equals 1. And then adding 16 to both sides, we get that 2x is equal to 17. And then finally, dividing both sides by 2, we get that x is equal to 17 over 2. Okay. So now you want to go ahead and check your solutions. So the way that this is going to work is you're going to go ahead and just plug it back in. So really, if you check 17 over 2, if I do it off camera really quick. So actually, I will say this. Since there's one solution to this, and because there is no, like, the restrictions here do not include, like, basically it's x equals 0. But what I'm trying to say is that there are no, if there was, so for example, if 17 over 2 was undefined, or it was, like, you know, on the bottom, you know, basically if this was equal to 17 over 2, then obviously it wouldn't work. So basically what I'm trying to say is that, you know, 17 over 2 would be a solution. Let me double check. I do believe I'm right, but let me double check. Okay, so yes, I checked it with a calculator and it checks out basically. I don't know if they allow to use a calculator for these, but if it's a fraction like this, I mean, most likely it will be. The only thing is, as long as it is not, like, when you get the vertical, when you set the bottom equal to 0, as long as you don't get the same thing as what you got for your answer, then it checks out. Otherwise, you know, it wouldn't work. So that is how you do this first one. Okay, so this is the second one and the last one that I'm going to be working on in this video. So for this one, what you have to do is factor this and also this. So we're going to do the exact same thing we did in the last example, where we kind of factor all these polynomials where the degree is greater than 1. So 8x squared minus 32x plus 24, that's going to be equal to 8 times x squared minus 4x plus 3. And we know that this, like, that itself is going to be, so this is going to be equal to 8 times x minus 3 times x minus 1. So that's what that one would be, right? So really that's what that would be, right? And then the x cubed minus 6x squared, obviously this is very easy. This is just x squared times x minus 6, right? So then that is what this one would be, right? So really that's this one, and this is this one, right? This part is this one, right? So we're going to just rewrite it. So we have 8 times x minus 3 times x minus 1 over, and then it's going to be x squared times x minus 6, and then we have minus 1 over x minus 6, and this is equal to 1 over x, right? So now it's a matter of getting the common denominator. So, I mean, you could do cross multiplication. However, let's see if that works. So, if I do cross multiplication for this, so let's see. We have 8 times x minus 3 times x minus 1, and then times x minus 6, and we're going to have minus, and then, you know, this part It's just going to be, so this is what the green part is here, like the turquoise part is, and then minus, it's going to be minus the quantity x squared times x minus 6, right? So like this, and then all over, and obviously we're gonna multiply all of this stuff here. So it's gonna be x squared, so x squared times x minus 6 squared, because we have 2 of them, right? So then, and then this is equal to 1 over x, right? So now it's a matter of just getting the common denominator. Now, there is one thing that I want to do. You can factor an x minus 6 out of this. So really, what I'm trying to say is you can factor an x minus 6 out of this, right? So this is going to give you x minus 6 times the quantity 8 times x minus 3 times x minus 1, and then minus x squared, right? And then it'll be all over x squared times x minus 6 times x minus 6. So really, these two would cancel out, right? And then you're going to be left with 8 times x minus 3 times x minus 1 minus x squared over x squared times x minus 6. And this is going to be equal to 1 over x, right? Because really, the whole time it was equal to 1 over x. That's just, it's an equation, right? So now what I'm going to do is, we know we have an x right here. We want to get to this, okay? Because really, all you have to do, we already have an x squared here. We have an x minus 6, so we can easily get to that. I'm going to multiply, let me do a different color. I'm going to multiply this times x, and then times x minus 6, right? So it'll be times x minus 6. So on top and bottom. So then this will be 8 times x minus 3 times x minus 1 minus x squared all over x squared times x minus 6 is equal to x times x minus 6 over x squared times x minus 6. And now, because they have the same denominator, you can set the numerators equal to each other. So we have 8 times the quantity x minus 3 times x minus 1 minus x squared is equal to x times x minus 6, right? Okay, so this, we're then going to go ahead and simplify this. So we have 8, we're going to do FOIL method with this. So it's going to be x squared minus x minus 3x plus 3, and then minus x squared like this, right? So, and then this will be x squared minus 6x, right? So then this is going to be 8 times the quantity x squared minus 4x plus 3 minus x squared equals x squared minus 6x. Now, what you're going to do is, you're going to go ahead and do, so this is going to be 8x squared minus 32x plus 24 minus x squared equals x squared minus 6x. So then combining like terms, we have this and this, we get 7x squared minus 32x plus 24 equals x squared minus 6x. Now, you're going to set this equal to 0. So then this would be 6x squared, and then 32 minus 6 is 26, negative 26. In this case, negative 26x, and then plus 24 is equal to 0. And now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 2 to kind of reduce or simplify the expression a little more. So we have 3x squared minus 13x plus 12 equals 0. So then this, so let's see here. I'm not sure if I can do, can I do, like, is this going to have a real solution is what I'm wondering. Okay, yes it is. Okay, so we need two numbers, so let's go ahead and kind of, you know, this is going to be A, and then we're going to go ahead and say that this is B, and then let's see, and then this right here is C, right? So let's go ahead and do, you know, so A is equal to 3, and then B is equal to negative 13, right? So this is B. B is negative 13, and then C is positive 12, right? So we need two numbers. So two numbers. And if we do A times C, so A times C is really 3, so it's going to be 3 times 12, like this, and this is equal to 36, and then B is just negative 13, right? So we need two numbers that multiply to 36 and add to negative 13. So this would be, so we have, if we do our factors of 36, they need to be negative because they need to add up to negative 13. So we're going to do, I believe it's going to be negative 4 and negative 9. So now you're going to say 3x squared minus 13x plus 12. This is going to be equal to 3x squared, and then it's going to be minus 4x, and then minus 9x, right? So really, it looks like this. Hold on. Minus 4x, and then minus 9x, so like this, and then plus 12, right? So plus 12, and this is equal to 0. So now we're going to go ahead and factor these two things. So we have 3x squared minus 4x, and it's going to be minus the quantity 9x minus 12 equals 0. We're going to go ahead and say x times the quantity 3x minus 4, and then minus, and then it's going to be 3 times x minus, or I'm sorry, times 3x minus 4 equals 0. So notice that there's, I'm going to use pink. Notice that there's a 3x minus 4 in common. So really, this is like u is equal to, so really, this is like u is equal to 3x minus 4. We have x times 3x minus 4 minus 3 times 3x minus 4 equals 0. And this is like xu minus 3u equals 0. So then you can factor out u, right? So u times x minus 3 equals 0. And then this becomes, so we have the quantity 3x minus 4 times x minus 3 equals 0. Now, looking at the restrictions that we had at the very beginning, so x minus 3 was not a restriction, but we're going to go ahead and check it. So if we check x equals 3, let me go ahead and do that off camera. So really, when I check x equals 3, if you plug it into the calculator for the original equation, it checks out. It's equal to, it's you know, it basically it works, right? And then if we do 4/3, because really x would be 4/3 in this case. So we have x equals 4/3, x equals 3, right? If you set this equal to 0 and solve for x, you would get x equals 4/3. Yeah, so if we do x equals 4/3 for x, we're going to go ahead and, let me go ahead and put that in the calculator really quickly. Okay, so yeah, basically these two, they check out, right? So your solutions for this one are x is equal to 4/3 and x is equal to 3, right? So these would be your two solutions. Now, I did put over here to just plug it into your calculator to check it because, you know, unless they literally force you to do it by hand, yeah, that's very annoying and just no. So, if they do give you an answer where, you know, it's like basically, and where they don't try to trick you and they're just like, oh, it's x equals, you know, both of these, then yeah, you know, just pick the answer. But what I'm trying to say is, if they do have you check it, and if it does say to check it, just make sure to put it into the calculator to check it, and just, you know, make it equal, like literally plug in the left side. So put, you know, plug in your x value for this, and then plug in your x value for this, right? So that is how you do these two problems, guys. I know they were a bit lengthy. That is why I only did 2 of them, because I know they're very lengthy. So with that being said, guys, please let me know if this helps. And also, thank you so much for watching. And please like, comment, and or subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.